So, good morning, everyone. I hope you had a great evening. Good morning so far. Ready to, be patient again today. So, let's look at the market. Let's look what um, I'm seeing right now. There's some good, there's some bad, and we'll try to make a sense of it, even if the market is pretty hard to read right now. All right. Um, so let me start with the futures. We're still below the declining weekly structure. So really, we're stuck in that range. We're holding we're holding the lows, so that's kind of the good news. Um, but we remain below declining structure, so we're still at risk of some kind of rollover, continuation lower. That's the risk that we have right here. Uh, Daily, same picture. We're stuck in that range, in that chop. We've been making lower highs, uh, but trying to make a potential higher low right here. So when I said that there's some good, there's some bads, it all depends from what happens from here. So as a reminder as well, we had our VIX spike uh, last week, and usually a VIX spike is pretty bang on the lows, unless we start kind of a bear market where we have those spikes and we're very late stage in the bigger bull market, and then we roll over and continue. But in a bull market, usually those VIX spikes above 35s are where market tend to find a bottom and continue with the larger trend. So I'm just noting that action right now. We had that flush, that shakeout last Monday at the market open, mainly driven by news, by geopolitical and what happened in the Middle East. I don't want to get into that as well. But we made that shakeout, we made that low on the futures, which is still standing. Uh, we maybe made a higher low yesterday, and until last Monday's low is broken, we're still trying to build the right side with that VIX spike. All right, so I don't want to be overly bearish, and there's no reason to be overly bullish as well. Right now, I'm really neutral. I'm just recognizing that we're trying to build a higher low. We had that VIX spike, and that VIX have has been elevated for 43 days now above the rising daily structure. That's very stretched historically, and we had that spike. So, do we need do we need to break that down, create that relief rally, counter trend rally? That remains to be seen. Um, so yeah, unless we reclaim kind of that area, that daily structure, breakout of and that will require a lot of work, right? To break out from that chop range that we're in. But that's what we need to see to really confirm a playable swing market. And unless we push out of those two key elements, so the daily structure and that range, uh, top structure as well, we're still in chop. We're still at risk of a downtrend continuation. So keep that in mind. Um, Credit spreads closed dead high yesterday, so that's still signaling that there's a risk in the market. We're still above the rising 21-day move structure. And the same thing for growth to value rotation. We're still below the declining weekly structure. So value is outperforming growth as we speak. Um, so yeah, everything is below declining structure. IWM and RSP, especially SPY, have that kind of cascade down look as we see the rate of change and the rate of lower highs accelerating to the downside. So I think that the Nasdaq is looking better, especially the fact that mega caps have been kind of in correction for a longer time, and that might explain why the Nasdaq is holding better as of now, but we remain below declining structure. So let's switch to TradersLab now. So that's the picture that I'm seeing, guys. Nothing to do yet. Oh, and the other thing is we have FOMC tomorrow. Uh, so pretty hard to position today anyway. Um, that should move the market. There's a lot of indecision with inflation tied to oil prices. So what the Fed will do tomorrow, I don't know, but there might be some surprises. So that will definitely move the market, and uh, that will become very hard to position in front of that event. All right, so if we look at QQQE equal weight, so we have that lower low that has been made. So when I say that mega caps are kind of holding better, that is also reflected in the QQQ chart compared to QQQE, right? So on QQQE, we made a new lower low below last Monday. So kind of invalidated that potential higher low that I explained on the Qs. And yeah, we're below declining 21-day move structure. The McClellan summation is in a downtrend, not yet oversold. We bounced from oversold ratings, and there was some pretty deep oversold ratings uh, in NYSE and the S&P 500, in the Russell 2000 small caps. We discussed that yesterday morning. We were at -3 standard deviation below the average. So there was a lot of destruction, a lot of distribution in the last few days and weeks in those market. And look, we had that gap, right? So we discussed that a lot. Mega caps were dragging and tech were dragging down the Nasdaq, while the rest of the market was hanging out and creating that divergence as they got overbought. And what happens now is that gap got filled. Uh, what was overbought got destruct harder, and the Nasdaq and tech resisted better to that selling, right? So we see the summation that started from a minus zero point 0.5 reading, and we're not yet oversold, while the S&P 500 started with an overbought reading of 1.5 standard deviation, and right now is now negative and closed that gap. So that was the move that we wanted to see. Now, which way we swing, that remained to be seen. Is the swing down done? I have no idea. But what I do know is the market was very stretched to the downside, and yesterday's bounce, and maybe today's bounce as well if we continue to see some strength, and we confirm a daily reversal of yesterday's bounce, we'll just remove the downside excess into FOMC. So now we're in a position that we run straight up into declining daily structure, straight up into weekly declining structures, while not being oversold anymore. So that's kind of a not so good picture into a key event. Um, so let's review a bit of the names that I'm watching this week. Uh, and again, there's some good, there's some bads. The good thing is there's some momentum leaders that are holding up pretty well actually. So that's the good news. That might reinforce kind of the higher low structure that we might see on QQQ. Let's see if that plays out. But there's a couple names that are doing well. So Sendisk pushed to a new high breakout yesterday on that gap up. It held. There's Micron earnings tomorrow as well. So keep that in mind if you want to play SNDK, WDC, etc., etc. Light gapping down a bit pre-market. So let's watch how it reacts to a potential higher low there. Bloom Energy, I think one of the best chart out there. So we tried that reclaim potential higher low here in the daily structure. We're still building a lower high though, but we're basing for a few weeks now right into the weekly structure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. For 9 weeks now, basing right at the daily structure, at the weekly structure, sorry. VRT still holding up very well. Didn't retest the daily structure yesterday. GV is probably one of the best setup out there. So you have that pull back into the daily structure, reclaim, backtest with an inside day yesterday. So really nice setup. Maybe that will come into play today. Keys still building above the rising 21 day structure. Rocket Lab super tight. That could go fast either way, to be honest. If we reclaim the 21 day structure, that could be the breakout and the reclaim to watch for. Intel, probably one of the best weekly chart out there. We have seen that breakout, retest, tighten up on the right side, weekly reversal, retest of the 10-week moving average yesterday. And it showed some strength yesterday morning, faded back down, gave up the gains, but it's shaping up pretty well. Same thing for eBay. Reclaim backtest of the rising 21 DME structure, super tight off the right side. Same thing for Twilio, and yeah, Palantir getting super tight off the right side as well. And this one could flip either side as well. So that's a nice daily setup, but it's also right into the declining weekly structure. So keep that in mind with Palantir. This is kind of a name that I want to track to see if it can reclaim the weekly structure and how actually the daily setup plays out. That will give good information, good feedback about the market. All right, so that's what I see, guys. Game plan for today didn't change for me. We're still below the declining daily structure, weekly structure. We didn't even confirm a daily reversal for any anticipation. Uh, the good news is we might have that high low in play in the Nasdaq, but so like we discussed, we might have that high low in play on the Nasdaq, but we didn't confirm a daily reversal. We didn't confirm. So first step, right? So if we want to go through the steps that we want to see to actually confirm a new uptrend, right? So first we need to, so first step, we have that higher low. That's the kind of the first constructive action. Then what we want to see next? Next, we will need that daily reversal. So uh, taking out that Friday's high, that would be the second constructive action to actually making a new higher high. All right. Then what do we want to see? We want to see a reclaim of the declining 21 EMA. Then a reclaim of the 21 DMA structure. And then a reclaim and breakout of that range, of that chop area. So we have quite a few steps to do before having a good swing market and confirm the upside scenario. But we have that first step, right? We have that higher low. And only on NASDAQ, like we discussed, the SPY, small caps, NYSE does not have that constructive action. So maybe that strength is only contained into the mega caps, uh, which are driving and weighted in the NASDAQ 100. So that's the step that I want to see. Until then, unfortunately or fortunately, I remain in cash and on the sidelines. But if I see those steps taking place, if we see a good reaction to FOMC tomorrow, that might be the kind of picture that pulls me back in the market. But until then, patience. All right, any questions, guys? No questions? All right, so I wish everyone a very good day. Take care. Stay open minded, despite the fact that this market is going nowhere, pretty frustrating. We never know what would happen, and we will follow price action, we'll follow the leaders, and yeah, when it's time, it will be time to re engage and see the feedback that we get. All right, so have a good day, everyone. Take care. Bye bye.